So a friend, patron, supporter, member of Discord suggested as a possible other idea of a mini-series to present like sort of types as archetypes or as fables, to offer like a view of the 16 different types that's kind of novel, or at least offers a different perspective. And I thought I would start with the INFJ and call the INFJ the narrator. At first I thought I might just call the INFJ the writer, but then it struck me maybe as a little bit reductive, as a little bit too specific. Narrator makes good sense because in some sense the INFJs are in the business of making meanings. They make meanings. You know, this is something that I emphasize a great deal in my book, The Infinite Soul, on INFJs in the modern world, how INFJs are like in the world and how to be in the world as an INFJ. So if you're interested, the first link in my description box right there is to The Infinite Soul. You should definitely get the book if you haven't yet. But meaning making is something that I describe as like the quintessential INFJ activity. Not just because INFJs are good at meaning making, but because INFJs profoundly need meaning making. And this is also what I call spirit. This is also what I call the sacred. So when I talk about a spiritualized INFJ, I'm not just talking about like the healthiest version of an INFJ. I'm not just talking about the most individuated version of an INFJ. I'm also talking about the particular form that individuation and health, so to speak, espouses in INFJ life, as opposed to other types' life. And that form is to re-enchant the world, is to reinstill magic in the world, meaning in the world, right? So from this perspective, our era, which worships technology, which is all about cause and effect, is all about results, is all about achievements, is all about gratification of pleasures and desires, it forgets the very notion that, in fact, what's around us, whether it be nature, whether it be culture, whether it be human relationships, what's most important, at least to INFJs, is not what these encounters with, in all these different settings, what they bring the INFJ, either materially or even spiritually. What's most important is the narrative, the sense of meaning that emerges in the interstices of those interactions. It has the INFJ's fantasy with PH, which is the sort of guiding story that animates the INFJ in their life, has to be fed with more plots, with more, with more storylines. It has to be kept alive with more characters, with more, just have a good pacing. It needs to have color. It needs to have chapters. There's a dynamics to INFJ life that is very intricately connected to this notion of the story and of the narrative. And I guess a slightly more technical way that you could put this is that the INFJ is always engaged in the business of, if you like, writing signs and signifiers onto the world, right? Like they are, in a sense, writing the world, but if you take writing in a broader sense. And whenever an INFJ is highly alienated from that activity, either because they're seduced away from it by the promises of modern society, or if they are, tempted away from it by too much solipsism or too much compliance, the way back to it is always a way back to more fullness, to higher goods, and ultimately to happiness. And of course, that's also why a lot of artists are INFJ, particularly a lot of artists who are, again, in the business of narrating, like writing and filmmaking. If there are so many well-known INFJ filmmakers, Bergman, Tarkovsky, Malick, and so on, if there's so many well-known INFJ writers, Hess, Dostoevsky, and so on, it's also because this is the form of art most natural to INFJs, most directly concerned with making meanings. Let me know what you thought of in the comments, guys. Give me a like for referencing purposes. Don't forget my first book about the INFJ, The Ecstatic Soul, which put my name on the map, Deepest Investigation into the INFJ Mind, INFJ Consciousness, available online. Link is below as well. And as usual, guys, don't forget, I need you more than ever. My Patreon page is linked below. I could not do this without you, all these videos without you. So please consider supporting me for a small amount every month or every year. You get access to bonus content every 2-3 weeks on a topic of your choice called the Deep Dive by myself in long format. And also exclusive access to our Discord server to join me and the community there. And most importantly, you help me keep going. Thank you so much and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.